Nano Banana shook the world with these incredible zoom-ins. But how does it stack up against Midjourney? Yep, it's another great name by Google. Nano Banana was released about a month ago, and it was incredible to see the kind of image generation that it could create. It was so good that it made me forget about Midjourney, who had a 3-year head start in this space. So in this video, we are gonna let Nano Banana and Midjourney go head to head, and we'll see who comes out on top.
First, we'll give a quick background on Midjourney and Nano Banana. Then we're going to go through the challenge, which David's going to reveal later, to see which is better. And finally, we're going to walk you through some real life examples of what you can do with both of these models.
And today's challenge is in 3 prompts or less, which image can turn Tammy's LinkedIn profile pic into a cool crayon image. Very standardized. We'll see who comes out on top. And we'll evaluate the answer on how easy it is, the quality of the final output, and bonus points for being able to do it with less prompts. Now, it's pretty wild in how fast you can generate some of these images. Some of them don't even look like the AI generated anymore.
To first give you some context on Midjourney versus Nano Banana. Midjourney was initially released in February of 2022, with the most recent V7 released in March 2025. Nano Banana, or actually Gemini 2.5 Flash image, was released in August 2025, so just a month ago. Midjourney, 131 employees. Google, I don't know, David, 100,000, if not more.
I feel like there's a little bit of unfair comparison here, but yes, it's 2 worlds apart between these 2 different companies.
Yeah, it's not really fair. And this goes to what my sort of final point, funding. Midjourney has never taken outside funding, has never taken venture capital. I think actually before we recorded this episode, David, I mentioned that to you. And you were kind of shocked because that's so off the beaten track. Versus Google, I don't know what the current market cap is, but let's assume that it is close to or around $1 trillion.
It's definitely in the $1 trillion side. I think it's just surprising that Midjourney had no VC dollars and being able to achieve this kind of outcome. So I'm pretty keen to see what is it like using Midjourney now versus Nano Banana.
Yeah, it's wild. Should we get into it?
Yeah, please.
So here we are in Midjourney. As you can tell, it is somewhat of a chat-based interface. But because it has its own UI, it now has a lot of knobs and switches so you can try different aspect ratios, models, aesthetics, and whatever have you. Or you can type these in as well. So we're going to go here, and I'm going to drag my Omni reference. And what Omni reference is the ability to kind of pick a person or a character as a reference. Now, this used to be called character reference in V6. Now in V7, it's called Omni reference. And this means that I'm saying, hey, this is the reference picture of the person. Now, the other thing you can do is actually add a style reference, and that's this image here. I kind of like this Tupac image over here. So I'm going to go and drag this image of Tupac Shakur, and then I'm going to copy in a prompt. Now, I'm going to just take a second to describe this prompt here. There's a lot of things happening underneath the hood. So first we have the text element of the prompt, which is give an illustration of this man staring into a camera as a LinkedIn profile picture with an off-white background around the head, so kind of describing some of the style elements. There's a very thick pastel crayon lines in primary colors, some black for hairs, eyes, and beards. No blending to kind of give that cool crayon childlike thing. Chaos 10, basically, now these are parameters. So with parameters here, you can define and almost change little elements of this prompt to tell the model how deep or how intense you want to go. So Chaos 10 is saying, give me a good spread because Midjourney will actually create 4 different images. And you're saying across those 4, give me a spread of 10, hypothetically. After this, we have what you call style ref. This is sref. So I've already given a style reference image. Now underneath this, there's actually a similar style. And this is the very particular unique ID for it. After that, I'm telling it to give a weight to this Omni reference of 700. And what that is saying is that you should be true to this image or true to this reference image and this person's features. So don't make me look like Tupac Shakur. Of 700. And that value there, if you look at the slider, can go pretty high, but we're also going to set it 700 here. And then finally, stylize, which is saying that it doesn't have to be photorealistic and you can kind of stylize. And all of these different dials compete with each other. So in previous versions where I was testing, I made Omni weight 400 and it looked nothing like me. I made stylize 1,000 and made nothing like me. So these things sort of compete with each other and you have to find the right blend of the 2. But let's get started. So you can see here, it's doing the process and we'll jump to it being revealed. All right, David, so prompt 1, this is what we have. There's a bit of a chaotic spread here, right? This dude looks nothing like, this looks me in about 20 years.
You look
Not sure how I
old.
feel. Yeah.
Old in that,
I look old.
in that image.
This one as well, not really feeling it. But these two, I think they're kind of cool. They're not far off. Like this kind of looks very similar to the reference image. This is like kind of a side-on interpretation.
I gotta be honest, the left and the right hand further side is like making you look homeless.
Yeah.
Like, you
Look, look,
know,
look. I
the
know how my
other
wife.
two.
I know my wife feel that. I like this one. Should we iterate on this one and give it another
Yeah,
sort
that
of prompt?
one's good. That
So we're
one's
going to
really
click
good.
here. We're going to click in. Now we can actually do some different actions and we can scroll. So you can see here, I can vary, so make more images similar to this one,
Mm.
upscale, remix, I can rerun, I can use this as part of a prompt, and I can also animate. What we're going to do is we're going to go to subtle creation actions. We're going to tap
Mm.
there, and it's already submitted. And so we're already creating some subtle variations upon this one. And you can see that they're coming up over here.
Oh, that's
Now we'll
cool.
just, yeah, we'll fast forward towards the end. You can already see that they're looking a little bit more kind of interesting.
Is this is the version that you're using right now? Is this paid or is this the free version?
This is $20 a month to get to this point.
Okay, cool.
And then finally, let's take one of these. I think I tend to have a bit of a squint, so I'm going to look at this one here. And I think this one's pretty good, but should we
Mm.
upscale it? Because this is not print quality. So let's
Yeah.
upscale. Let's upscale this, hey?
What's creative upscale versus subtle upscale?
So if you go and go for a creative upscale, it'll take a little bit more creative license in adding more things, especially if you're going from a very low quality
Oh,
image.
got it, got it, got it.
Um,
Hmm.
so let's go subtle, final prompt here, and we'll get our final one image output here.
I think they've kind of also gotten the texture of the hair. That's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. And
Uh,
it still feels kind of crayony and organic
mm,
without necessarily. Now, you can tell it's not a perfect representation of the style ref, and that's because almost to get to that point, I'd have to change my character reference or the character weight or the OW weight pretty low and improve the stylization. And you can get like a very weird sort of output as a result of that.
mm.
But here we go. We'll click into this and you can see it's coming together a little bit slowly. Here we go, David. This is the final image. Probably
I,
a few more white hairs and the beard's
I,
a little bit more scraggly, but it's not bad.
it's not bad. It's just the machine took the liberty to add, add a bit of age to the
I
photo.
don't know. I don't know. I feel like this Gent probably could do with a little bit of a beard trim. But it's not bad. I wouldn't be upset about this. I would happily demo this. This is pretty cool. This is pretty great. And so in three prompts, we went from a really basic sort of image. We go back to our create sort of flow. So you can see here, V1, I gave that sort of deep reference. We got four across the spread. We decided this one was the best. We asked it to give, some sort of remixes and go a little bit step deeper. You can actually go and edit this and change this text. And then we went deeper. And if I wanted to pick this up, all I have to do is click use, and it comes all of these loaded up, and I can potentially play around again, which is really cool. Because then this is how you can kind of test, and you can kind of go, look, I want to change the parameter 5, and I want to make the omni reference weight 400 and see how that impacts it. So you can go through a bunch of different reps. And I found that on the cheapest tier, I think $20 a month, I was able to get a lot of reps very quickly.
How does someone find the style reference? Like, how do I know what to put?
Yeah, so you can explore different images or styles here, and you can pick them up. So David, we just did Midjourney. Now we're in Nano Banana, or more correctly, in the Google AI Studio. So Nano Banana sits within the Google AI Studio where they provide a number of different capabilities like image generation using Gemini Flash to just have conversations and whatever have you. You can also generate speech apparently with Gemini, which I'm just
Yeah.
seeing there. You can start here, or I like to just go into the generate media sort of thing and go try Nano
Yeah.
Banana. And what that does is just selects it in the model drop down over here.
Mm. I think it's worth calling out that for the AI Studio, if you don't know where to go, you can just Google search it, and then there'll just be a link. And just go to the Google AI Studio. But we can leave a link in the comment section below anyway.
Exactly. And so we're going to go through the same process. And to keep things real, I'm going to upload a file and I'm going to copy in exactly the same prompt minus the parameters from Midjourney because obviously we don't have the capability to do that. And we're going to run it. Okay. So here's prompt one, the output. And let's just zoom in a little bit. So this is the output. Great. It's preserved my likeness and you can see it's tried to do the crayon thing, but it has tried to blend things. Let's take it a step further. Great. Make it
I
more like an illustration and less
feels
with
like
the blending.
the machine has, dude, that image. I'm gonna be honest, dude. Like that. That's a very good looking dude. as an image.
Thank you. Thank you. We're going to try and get this, and we're going to try and force this even more so to become a bit more of an illustration sort of thing. And this is what you're going to, this is, not to jump to the end, but you're going to notice this is what Nano Banana does really well, but it's also one of the flaws. Okay, so slightly more crayon-y and less blended. Um,
I'm
now we're
not.
going to,
Is
yeah,
it? I feel like there's no difference.
okay, now let's be very forceful. You must not blend any crayon strokes. Replace the whole. Interpret the face likeness. Okay, let's try and just like really push the envelope because it looks great, but it's not necessarily like what we kind of wanted.
While the model is finished generating an image, if you do enjoy this piece of content, a very easy way for you to support us will be actually like or commenting in the video. Or if you have any suggestions on what video we should do next, let us know in the comment section below. That would be like very, very useful in actually supporting us in making more videos.
Here we have the final sort of output. So let's make the final determination. Personally, I'm going to vote for Midjourney taking our matrix. It was really easy to do it. We had a lot of UI where we could add style references and whatever have you. The quality, in my opinion, was much better in terms of the final thing we were going to. And in
Mm.
3 prompts, I mean, we probably could have got there in 2 prompts. I just wanted to play around a bit more. Versus with Nano Banana, 3 prompts, we didn't really get to what we wanted. It was a lot more difficult, in my opinion, and it sucked up a lot more time.
Just to remind everyone, I think the difficulty in terms of how easy it is to get the output, the quality of the output, and the bonus points for being able to do it in less prompts. I think like my vote, I gotta go with Midjourney too. I actually had really high hopes for Nano Banana personally, uh, but I think like the output, the quality of the output from Nano Banana is just really not as good, like frankly. And then I think like the other thing that's actually quite tricky is the amount of prompting that was required in Nano Banana to actually get to the final outcome. But we also had to deduct some points from basically Midjourney on like a lot of the customization that's required off the back of the prompt. But it seems like it's one of those things where after you learn it, you're like, okay, well, it's like how you will go about prompting. But Nano Banana's output is just like I frankly think it's like just not great compared to Midjourney. Um,
Yeah,
so I
I,
think
I
as a
would agree.
whole, my vote would be like Midjourney for sure.
I would agree. And so I think like undoubtedly Midjourney has won this competition. But why did Nano Banana cause so much hype? And I think that's where it's really interesting. It's a good segue into the real life use cases. Nano Banana is much better at editing images than it is producing whole new images. So while this was a
Mm.
competition that we ran today, while we were preparing and while I was preparing, this is something that I learned. It's really good at taking existing image and being able to edit things. And so some of the things we've chatted about are, taking an existing in-product image or mock-up and changing that up, taking some custom brand images, or I think David, we did a really cool demo of a in-product image that we switched up, didn't we?
Yeah, we should show that.
So here's a real life AG1 ad. Athletic Greens, as everyone knows, is a static ad from Facebook. And all I did was say, instead of a bottle that had green liquid, make it a pint of beer with a green logo and call it AG1. And one shot, it did a fantastic job of that. And then I said, actually, let's be a bit more tongue in cheek and add a more BRS logo. And in 2 shots, we got here. And frankly, we could have gotten here in one shot, but this is something that Nano Banana excels at. It is amazing at taking an existing base image and just editing small components of it in a way that Midjourney is not so good at because Midjourney takes so much creative license. And so while I was able to take my LinkedIn headshot and turn it into like this really creative crayon drawing, that's something that editing a small image or tweaking a detail is something that Midjourney is almost too powerful for, and Nano Banana is
Mm.
very smart at these sort of fine tweaks.
I just thought that the editing demos are really cool, personally. And if a team had this kind of tool to be able to just edit static ads like that, that's incredibly useful for like performance marketing teams for sure.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we've used it to create concepts for YouTube thumbnails.
Mm, mm. And that was pretty cool. If you made it this far to the video, thank you so much for watching this entirety of Nano Banana versus Midjourney. Taman and I actually had a lot of fun making this video. And until next time, I'm David.
And I'm Tame.
See you next time.